James, how are you planning on reviewing that performance if you haven't already?
No, we haven't yet, but it was obviously disappointing to come so close, and I think we'll have a look at the end and how we can win these games. I think we'll go through that with the boys, because I think for 4 quarters we're pretty competitive. But we need to be at the other end of it once in a while, so we'll work on that and have a look at that and review that.
Regardless of the result, did you feel like it was some of the better footy you've played this year?
I think so, yeah, especially from a 4-quarter point of view. We have, in previous games, had big lapses, which has really hurt us. So I think we were pretty consistent for 4 quarters. There were some obviously pleasing aspects of it.
Forward-wise, Rails, was that the most potent combination you've seen?
I reckon it's the way we delivered the ball. I think the boys have been working hard to create options ahead of the ball and probably just let ourselves down with our ability to execute that final kick. And I think the boys, the mids, and pumped up the half-backs as well. The way they delivered the ball to the forwards gave us every opportunity and made them look how dangerous they can be when the ball's delivered like that.
How's Rahilly going? Is he fit? It was going to be 2 weeks. This week?
Yeah, it might be tight this week. He's still in the rehab group, but he is running across the ground, and we'll just be careful that one. When he's ready to go, we'll make sure he's right to go.
So is he still sore?
No, I don't think he's sore, but it's just been a bit more of a slow process to get that hip 100% right. He probably battled in his last game to really cover the ground, and as forward and coming up in the midfield, needs to cover the ground, and we'll make sure he's right when he gets back.
So ruled out or not? Will you wait and see, or not even in the conversation?
We'll have that conversation today. Actually, I'll probably find out today.
Yeah.
But he'd have to do some training for sure, which he hasn't done yet.
What's the kind of balance you have to strike with a player like Rahilly? You know, first year hasn't played a lot of footy in the last couple of years because of COVID. You kind of want to obviously make sure he's right and protect him, but at the same time give him some experience at AFL level.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think we've got to be careful, and that's the process we're taking at the moment. Obviously, his start to the year was amazing. We want that back, and hopefully the plan is really to get him right so he's covering the ground like he was in his first few games, because it obviously will help us.
Riley more playing ruck at the moment, I guess, because he said, I think earlier this year, he was more comfortable playing the ruck at AFL level. Is that just helping his development?
Well, just who he is at the moment. He's an aerobic athlete that cruises around the ground and actually really helps us in the ruck. He's massive aerobic ability that we all know about. He's really clean below his knees, so he really helps us when he goes in the ruck, and then he's able to swap with Rob at times forward and still move around the ground like he does, and you can see him jumping at the ball and not having a big defender in the back, smacking him in the back of the head, which happens at times. So I think we'll keep giving him a little bit more time in the ruck, because it's obviously helping his game.
You must be happy with Rory Laird breaking an AFL record when it comes to tackles.
Yeah, 20 tackles and Sam Berry's 17, between them 37. It was an amazing tackling game for the numbers that we had. Rory obviously finds a lot of the ball and helps us in that area, but then his ability defensively is great.
If Dacos starts getting off the chain like he did, and obviously had a red-hot game, was there a conversation that you go, we have to try and nullify him in this last quarter to win this game? Yeah,
well, definitely. We did have that conversation 3-quarter time, but then he went forward. So, we should have had someone on him when he was playing forward. He still had a pretty big impact on the game as a forward. Look, we spoke about that before the game, and there's things we need to review, because we should have been closer to him just without tagging him as well. So, I think he's a good player, and a lot of teams will be putting some time and effort into him.
How do you find the mix of the midfield? I know when Matt and Jackson were admitted, Adam Kelly said, we're trying something different. How do you think he kind of worked on Saturday?
Yeah, not too bad. As I said, I thought the mids were pretty good, especially with their delivery and getting the ball forward and penetrating at the right time. So I thought the mix was pretty good. We're pretty strong around stoppage for the game as well. So, Collingwood have got a pretty strong midfield, so I thought we competed pretty well.
What was said to Jacko, Rose? He sort of played out on the wing a little bit. His best games probably came inside. Was there a conversation about you just having a look at the midfield? Like, how was it explained?
Yeah, a little bit. He probably got a little bit quieter in the last couple of games, but that can happen on the wing. He still worked worked really hard, and he's a really hard-working player, and we need those players in the team. Probably at times can execute a little bit better, and that's what we're working on, that connection, especially going forward, which he's going to continue to work on, but couldn't have asked much more from an effort point of view.
Is his best place on the wing, do you think?
We know coming in here, he played a bit on the wing at GWS and probably played his best games there. But I think he sees himself as an on-baller. He's someone that can hit the scoreboard as well. So, yeah, that's something we'll continue to look at with that midfield mix that we're talking about.
Did you have any time to watch the under-18s yesterday at all?
No, I didn't, no. But I will. I love watching that, so I'll definitely review it.
There are a couple of really bright South Australians. Is there anyone that sort of catches your eye in the early going?
I haven't. Again, I always wait till the end of the year and spend a lot of time on it. I love the draft. It's one of my favourite parts of the AFL, and yeah, I'll have a closer look because yeah, I'm pretty keen to see what's about.
Was there a bit of instruction to, I guess, try and kick it more rather than handball it up, especially after the Hawthorn game?
Yeah, I think we always want to. That ability to take the ball forward, and still, I think where we're at, because we're still pretty inexperienced head of the ball, we want to get a few more inside 50s that maybe cost us the game. Like they had 61, and I think we had 49. So, yes, we're reasonably efficient, and we have been at times this year, but yeah, I'd like to get the ball in there a little bit more to be able to compete and lock the ball in our forward half.
When you talk about finishing off, I think it's been a few weeks now where you've been in front in that last quarter and then just dropped away. Is it a physical thing or a mental thing or a bit of both?
Yeah, well, that's something I think we need to have a chat about. I think, Collingwood probably showed a little bit more composure at times where we probably didn't, and that's probably been something we're working on as a young group, that ability to make those good decisions. Do you have numbers around the ball, or are we even ahead of the ball, and things like that. So they're the sort of decisions and things we need to keep coaching and reviewing.
Does some of that stuff come naturally, though, with experience?
Yeah, no doubt, yeah. No doubt I've already got some things I'm going to show my group and the team that we could have done better, especially late in the game. So, yeah, hopefully things like that turn around.
How much do you have to focus on, I guess, tackles inside 50? I think it's on 5 for the day.
Yeah, well, I like to have a lot more than that because that's a strength of ours. Yeah, there's sort of reasons for that as well, but you've got to look at the efficiency and times where we're scoring as well. So, and our ability to win ground ball. So there's a lot in that.
Tex said last week that you took a step backwards against Hawthorn. Do you feel like you made amends for that game?
I think definitely our start. We took a step backwards with our start, and we had to play catch up all game. We took a step backwards with our contested footy and our ability to be clean in the contest, and I thought that was pretty good on the weekend. Previous to that, I thought we were okay though. So yeah, it was an off week, and we wanted to show a response, and I think we did to some extent.
What did you do differently then, Ruck?
Well, we did train it, and we probably focused on a little bit. We still question why we started poorly. We looked at the review and how we warm up, and I'll even warm up how I warm my guys and the midfield guys, and spoke to Burjo as well. So we had a pretty strong review on that because we were scratching our heads why we started like that. And it's just it shows it's such an important part of our game. If we don't show the fight around the contest, especially early in games, any team can make you look silly.
You said pretty pleased with the midfield group and they performed pretty admirably. Does it mean another week in the wilderness for Matt? I know you probably can't answer that now because you won't have that conversation, but were you happy with what he did at sample level?
Yeah, I just spoke to VB and he spoke to the sample coaches who were really happy with how he went. There's a few other good performances there as well, so which is really pleasing. I think it was a top of the table clash and they performed pretty well, the boys. So yeah, we'll have a chat about that at selection.
Just back on Rory's tackle record, how much do you make of it? And internally, is there a bit of a competition? Does it snowball? Do the guys sort of, is that the benchmark now and something they chase down?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we talk about contested ball and being clean, but we need to be a strong tackling side as well. So, yeah, I think it'll be talked about definitely in the change rooms by the boys. Laddie, how he's been for us this year with the amount of footy he's getting, but also, as we said, defensively. He's been a super player for us, so it's great for our young players to see someone like that putting so much effort in.
Buddy Franklin this week, who's going to get the job?
Yeah, I don't know. Jordan Butt seems to be on everyone at the moment. He played on Jamie Allard on the weekend, so but Nick Murray's very athletic defender, so it could be him as well, but probably asking the wrong bloke.